What's up, everybody? Zario here for another Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 discussion video. Another hashtag, another video in the hashtag save series of videos. This will be the last one for now. And in this video, I want to talk about another archetype, just like the previous two that I spoke on, that has been forgotten and lost. Uh, with the new wave of cards that have come in. Um, the Amazonas. Now, the Amazonas are one of those archetypes that came out way back when that received some new support in recent years, and they've gotten better, but it doesn't help them enough. You know what I mean? Their main problem is that they cannot get their boss monster out a lot sooner. And there's one card in particular that I wanted to speak on that's an anime only card that I feel like if it was made into an official card, it can really help them out. Now, in order for me to give you some perspective as to why I say this, uh, I'm going to show you this picture of my Amazonas build beating this Quasar deck that this guy was like literally spamming the field with Quasar dragons, and like he got three of them out, like literally no effort, and he got too overconfident. And because I had Amazonas Queen out, which is their boss monster that prevents Amazonas monsters from being destroyed by battle, it really came in handy that I ended up getting her out in time that I did. So first, let me show you guys the picture. Now, I blacked out the guy's name because in the event that some trolls see this, I don't want them running to the guy and heckling him like, "Oh my God, dude, you lost to this build because you made mistakes and this, that, and the third." It's some people that will do that, and I just blacked out his name simply because I did not want that to happen because I made this video on it. But just to give you some perspective, this is actually the third match. The first match me and this guy had, I won that because he just forfeited because whatever he was trying to do, I didn't know at the time. Um, what he was trying to do, he wasn't able to get off, and he just gave up. And then the second duel came around, he won that one. And in this third duel, I went first, and I had set, I believe, two Wabukus. I had activated Village from my hand, and then I summoned Amazoness Swordswoman. And during his turn, I had activated one of my Wabukus, and my monsters were protected by battle, and I wasn't taking any battle damage. So, he had drew his cards, etc., etc. He had activated his monsters or whatever, and I believe he got one shooting Quasar out on the field. No, during that turn, I'm like, he didn't get one Quasar dragon out yet at that moment, but he did activate cards like one day apiece, and he drew one card, I drew one card, and then he set one reckless greed, and then he set um um appreciation, which I believe that's the name of that trap card, that allows you to draw two cards whenever your opponent draws one card outside of their draw phase. He had activated that, and that was basically the beginning of the end for him, because I believe he just kept activating cards like hand destruction, etc., etc. Uh, but long story short, he ended up getting three different Quasar dragons out on the field, but he made a mistake in the middle of all that, in the middle of all the cards like Upstart Goblin that he activated, which raised my life points up to 11,000, which you see down there. He was activating hand destructions and cards like one day apiece, and he was getting a mass amount of draws to the point where he only had four cards left in his hand at the time. And I think he activated his last uh, Reckless Greed, like to get the last two cards out of his deck at that moment. And I believe I activated the second Wabuku that I had set, and I protected my monsters again. So he wasn't able to do anything to my monsters. So the following turn, I had already had two Amazonas monsters on the field. I had Queen in my hand. I normal summoned Queen, and that was basically it for him. because he made a mistake during that previous turn that like he tried to banish one of his quasars in order to get shooting quasar, in order to get what's the name of that fucking dragon? Uh, um, shooting star dragon out, but I believe he chained another card to it, and he didn't have any room in order to get it out, so it missed timing. Hence the reason why I'm seeing that in a chat box. He got overconfident thinking that he was going to take me out in one, go, because uh, shooting Quasar Dragon. I mean, you know, Quasar Dragon gains an extra attack for every non-tuner monster used to synchro summon it. So at max, at this very moment, he had like 4 attacks, and I'm telling him right now, like he thought he had 6. Then bad mathematics. He's thought he was gonna beat me from that, and again, Amazoness Queen has a continuous effect that and continuous effects can't be negated by cards like Quasar Dragon, which can negate one uh, monster's effect per turn. And yeah, he got overconfident and basically thought he was gonna win it during that turn because of his upstart goblins and my Amazoness Queen. I was basically in a position to win it. He couldn't do enough damage to me for that turn because in 3 turns, no matter what he did, you know, like because of reckless greed, he couldn't do anything in terms of drawing, so that's no problem. And all I had to do was really just wait it out, switch my monsters to defense mode, and just wait it out, and he lost. Because of Queen, my Amazoness monsters wasn't going anywhere, and that's basically it. Just ignore Rivalry of Warlords. That I kind of revealed that after the game, like that was my next card. But that brings me to this right here, Pride of Tribe. It's a normal trap card. Description: activate when an Amazoness monster you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. Special summon one Amazoness monster from your deck. And notice there isn't any level restrictions on it. So this card can really help getting Queen out on the field a lot easier, much easier. With Queen, I mean, like with cards like Village, Scout and cards like Blowpiper are kind of restrictive. It doesn't have that. It doesn't keep that deck consistency going. With Village, when one of your Amazon once per turn, when your Amazoness monster is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you'll be able to special summon another Amazoness monster from your deck that had the same level, making Scout, which is a level 2, and cards like Blowpiper, a level 3, kind of hard to use. And even as helpful as Scout is, that can protect your monsters, your Amazoness monsters, from being destroyed by by card effects. It's level 2, and if it gets destroyed by battle, you would only be able to summon another Amazoness Scout, which it wouldn't help that much at all, really, for deck consistency reasons. And that brings me to my next point, Amazoness Queen. I feel like Queen is that one Amazoness that can really. Queen is that one Amazoness monster that helps them maintain field presence. And having a card like this can actually help them get it out a lot easier. Because in between cards like Village, you're basically searching out all the other ones, and Queen is basically left on dead draw. And that really isn't too helpful these days. And coming from someone that played the deck over and over again, recreated it, and got it to where it is right now, to where I can say that they're good. They just need just that tiny bit of support in order to really get them over to where they can be playable, or like more playable than they are. Pride of Tribe can be that one card because it helps get the boss monster out, a lot easier. And that's basically it. I mean, they have other cards. They have other cards. People can say, well, why not just use cards like Foolish Burial, and then activating, Amazoness willpower. Now, anybody with a brain who has used Amazoness before know that Amazoness willpower is basically just their version of cards like Call of the. It's basically their version of Call of the Haunted. You know, except with Amazoness willpower, your monster can't change its battle position, and it has to attack if able. In other words, it has to be summoned in attack position, and you have to attack with it. So ideally, you would want to use that on Amazoness Swordwoman, so at least that way, when you attack with it, you won't be the one taking the battle damage. Your opponent will, or at the very least, you want to use Amazoness Fighter that can like reduce that battle damage to 0. And of course, they have other cards. Cards like Queen's Pawn and Queen's like Dramatic Rescue. That with Queen's Pawn is that it special summons one level 4 Amazoness monster from the deck. Again, does not help get cards like Amazoness Queen out quicker by any means. It thins the deck out, yeah, and you can probably dead draw it sooner, but again, it doesn't help get their boss monster out that can help them maintain field presence quicker. And they also have cards like Dramatic Rescue. Now, Dramatic Rescue can be helpful in special summoning Amazoness Queen, but again, it has to be in your hand. Problem, dead draw. And, having cards that can prevent your monsters from being destroyed by battle can help, but if you can get Amazoness Queen out a lot sooner with cards like Pride of Tribe, I feel like they can, you know, get that help that they need, considering that Amazoness Queen is a level 6, and with Pride of Tribe, you're able to summon any Amazoness monster out of your deck, and that is helpful. So I feel like they can use something like this in order to make them, what I'm saying, a more effective archetype to use. You know, getting Queen out, you know, earlier or sooner, or just a bit easier without having to rely on dead draw would make it, what I'm saying, like worth it. And with the situation that I was in, if I didn't have Queen, I would have lost that duel. Queen helps the Amazoness monsters maintain field presence. Village does help, but it does not help get their boss monster out quicker, and you're basically relying on dead draw. And today, uh, not today, but in these days in Yu-Gi-Oh, having a method to get your boss monster out a lot sooner or just a bit easier, especially with these older archetypes, which I don't in these save series of videos, in these hashtag save series of videos. Um, it's really about getting the archetypes cards that I feel like they need in order to get that extra, push. And as far as the Amazoners go, I feel like this is the card for them. So tell me what you guys think. You think they could use a card like this? Do you think that there's any other support that they may need? And with that being said, thanks for watching, and peace.